Hey all, good morning. This is Raj here. Welcome to the ShareTreck Lounge. Friends, my little doggy is here with me. Her name is Corey, 13-year-old Maltese. She's not feeling too well. She's been having arthritis, problems with her neck and her legs, and has become very slow of late and a little clingy. So she's here with me, sitting on my table. Um, and maybe she will pop her head in between once in a while. So I apologize in advance. But today it's a very interesting period. And I'm also through with the scripting for CRISPR Therapeutics. They announced their results and the stock price fell. And I have my reasons why I think it is still a great opportunity to buy CRISPR Therapeutics. I'll make that case separately. Expect that video to drop in another 2 to 3 hours because the scripting is over. I have to record it. That's it. Let's look at what's happening in the market today. Stocks are rising ahead of the US Open. As you can see, all the stock futures are up. And the reason why they're up is because there is this hope that Federal Reserve would do a rate cut. And this is spurred by last week's weaker job data and Monday's bounce in global equities. And again, Asian and European equity shares are higher, and inflation data shows persistent pressure. The OECD reports that year-on-year inflation in member countries rose 4.2% in June, up from 4.0 in May. Towards the end of my monologue, I'll explain why I think the market is behaving contrary to what should happen and what I think should happen. But it's all up to the market participants. I can think whatever I want to. And even if I'm right on the economics point of view, as long as the market doesn't believe that, the market will behave differently. And we have no control over it. All we have to do is control our own thoughts and try to manage our expectations. That said, if you look at the key headlines, it's again about Fed hopes for a rate cut. Markets continue to price a better chance of rate cuts as the Fed signals flexibility and economic data supports a more accommodating stance. And the US trade deficit widened in June to 71.5 billion with an uptick in imports and slower export growth. Again, this indicates that the inflation has not yet raged higher in the US because it's all front loading of inventory. That's causing this huge trade deficit. So we don't know how long these inventories are going to last. But as the inventories get over and the new tariff regime, which has already clicked in on 1st of August, comes into play, you'll start seeing the prices go up. One of two things will happen, or both. One is prices will go up, and therefore the demand will go down, and therefore layoffs and so on and so forth. That is one thing that could happen. The other thing that could happen is that the companies eat the tariff, and as a result of which price by earnings ratios are going to look bad and stocks will fall. And the possibilities are that it could happen between these two extreme ranges where a little bit of tariff is eaten and cross-subsidized by other domestic products. And then the inflation is slightly under control at the same time. P/E goes down a little bit. So all those possibilities are there. So it's very confusing to predict exactly what's going to happen going forward. So we have to watch it very closely. The big movers in the market seem to be Palantir Technologies, apart from the Fed rate cut hopes. Palantir jumped over 6% in pre-market after strong earnings beat and upgraded full-year outlook. Remember, they're getting a lot of defense and government contracts. Now, again, government has done a lot of cost cutting everywhere. And I think AI is something that can help them to maintain service levels to a good extent with lesser staff. So I think Palantir is a strong bullish case. Other top gainers include Arteris, Adaptimmune Therapeutics, and Robico. So these are all companies that we don't track, but they're all up like 50%, 30%, 45%. So it's super jumps, right? The kind of things that we like to see once in a while. And earnings season is in full swing. Global earnings focus turns to industrials and services with companies like International Petroleum, Caterpillar, and others reporting today. Q2 S&P 500 earnings growth is forecast at 5.6% year over year, the lowest since 2023, but still solid given the current economic volatility with the tariffs and other things going on. And Google took steps to curb AI data center energy use after agreeing to significant power down agreements with US utilities, an industry-defining move for AI sustainability. Guys, I think among all those CEOs, right, Sundar Pichai of Alphabet seems to be a much more thoughtful person, and he's not a cutthroat capitalist as such. But at the same time, if you look at the kind of layoffs that were announced, the chart that I showed yesterday in one of my videos, I was struck that Microsoft had 15,000 layoffs and Google had only 6,000 or something in that range. They're very thoughtful about how they approach things. And I think, again, agreeing for the energy power down agreements is something, a step in the right direction. And I'm pretty sure that they're also setting up a mini nuclear reactors to power their data centers. But these kind of things by the CEO makes a lot of difference. Harley Davidson has appointed a new CEO, Arthur Stars, to steer the company through tariffs and declining demand. And I think the other thing that I would like to highlight on is in the crypto area. Crypto exchanges showing a lot of activity out there, and therefore a lot of crypto trade means more money for the crypto brokerages that are doing all the trades. And I think those kind of companies like Coinbase and all will do much better. What else is there? Tech giants like Meta, NVDA, and BYD continue massive investments in AI and automation, positioning themselves for the next wave of disruption. Energy, industrials, and biotech stocks make up this morning's most active and volatile trades. And I want to talk to you in closing about a concept that I had. I was thinking that weak employment data and tariff-driven inflation generally trigger expectations of Federal Reserve rate cuts. Right? In the past, when we had stagflation, rate cuts never helped. It was raising rates and holding it at a high level, which calmed down the market and brought some equilibrium. But the first tendency is always to go for rate cut because people are looking at the fact that employment is going down and people have to be having jobs and so on and so forth. But employment is going down not just because of the tariffs, it's also going down because of AI. And when jobs go down because of AI, it benefits the owners of capital because their operative efficiency or rate of return on the capital margins go up dramatically. And the people who lose are the working class because labor, which used to command a premium, is now becoming less and less important. The only catch out there is that these companies can keep on going on doing AI and reducing the staff. But the problem is, even if they're able to produce $100 item for $5, people should have that $5 to buy it. And in order for them to have that $5 to buy it, they need a job. And none of the governments are talking about addressing this problem through policy measures like UBI or something like that, or a robot tax or an AI productivity tax. So as a result of that, I think that there's a whole lot of distortions happening right now, which will be addressed later on. And therefore, these stocks are going to keep on going up without looking at that particular aspect. That's my feeling. And I'm thinking that weak employment data and tariff-driven inflation generally trigger expectation of federal rate cuts, which in turn push US dollar index or DXY and the long-term bond yields lower. However, while such a rate cut usually signals economic trouble and would traditionally be negative for stocks, recent market behavior has at times defied this logic. Investors have sometimes bid up equities on hope that swift Fed action will cushion the downturn, at least in the short term, even if the catalyst for the action is economic weakness. This means stock market reactions can be temporarily positive despite worsening data. But if weakness deepens or inflation persists, equities could face renewed pressure. So in summary, what I'm saying is current market sentiment is highly sensitive and can produce counterintuitive moves depending on how investors interpret both data and policy responses. All you need is someone like Cathy Woods or Dan Ives or some big influencer to just come and make those statements and connect the dots, and then suddenly you'll see things falling down. So be very careful out there. With that said, I just want to take a quick look at our comment section and see if there is anything I have to respond to. Nothing is out there. Okay. Now let's go on to look at the TradingView platform. The first order of business is to convert this into a one-day chart and then make it into a single window so that we can see everything clearly and properly. So here we have, friends, we have S&P 500 futures. Now we have a hard stop out here. I think this is a very important resistance, 6,377.75. Are we going to be able to breach this? For context, let me take you to the 3-minute chart and show you what it looks like. So this is where the resistance is, and this is where the price action is at. When we started the day, we started quite high, and then we came down significantly, and then we went back up again, and now we are back again down. This is a bear flag in formation. So the chances are that the way I said it, maybe the market also starts believing it that way, and prices start coming down. Oh, that was my little doggy. She sat on my keyboard. Sorry about that. So what could happen is that as the day opens, we could start going down, or we can hit this resistance and then come back down. It's the Palantir result, which is something that is boosting the market sentiments further, and it's going to boost the semiconductors like NVDA and all. So overall, that is the bull effect, but market has to come to the senses. And you have NASDAQ also. We are still in the 3-minute time frame. As you can see, in case of NASDAQ, that resistance is much higher out here at around 23,426. So we'll have to see if we are able to break out above this 23,426. That's going to be the resistance for today. The dollar index is going up instead of going down, but this happens to be a bull flag in action, and it could go up further. So market is not behaving the way that we want it to based on the data. Bad news is good news now still, and the 10-year yield is up 0.02. 20-year yield is up 0.02, which means the money is moving out of bonds and going into stocks. So that's what is happening out there. People are taking more risks than before. In terms of S&P 500, NASDAQ, we already spoke about the futures. Let me go back into the one-day time frame. And what I wanted to do here was to have a look at VIX. And as you can see, VIX is also calming down, which means the market is in a positive direction. Gold is going down. Again, market doesn't seem to feel that there is much of a risk out there. There could be rate cuts and so on and so forth. So I think overall, we seem to be poised for a green open and a whole lot of strength. QQQ shows a jump of 0.39%. And in this context, I think we have to look at AI, and you'll see that NVDA is up 0.68%. And they will report their earnings in late August with strong demand for their AI products, expected due to rising investment in AI infrastructure by major tech companies. They are doing extremely well. And the halo effect is on AMD as well. The biggest loser is Intel. It has lost market share in the PCs. AMD has gained market share in the PC, and AMD is trying to inch its way into the GPU market and get a significant share out there, or meaningful share out there. So that's what is happening out here. Our support for today is going to be 177.56. That's going to be the support for today. I'm going to mark the screen. And then I'm going on to Meta. In case of Meta, what we see here is that Meta is up 0.29%. Meta shares rose around 3.5% after the Q2 earnings report, and since then it came down and it has regained, and it has gone above the opening that happened on the day of the earnings. So we seem to have some serious opportunity to create new highs out here, and our support is going to be at 736.82, and this huge gap up is still going to beckon us to fill it up. So when I look at the other components of the chart, like sentiment indicator, it shows there's a bullish sentiment returning for Meta. That's a positive. MACD is bullish. Momentum is above average, and there's plenty of room for the stock to go up further because the RSI is not yet as overheated as it has been in the past. In the past, we have gone at least up to 84.36 on the RSI scale. So Meta could go up further today. Google is down 0.05%. This could be a reaction to their power cap agreement. But overall, I think they have a support at around 193.73 today. That's going to be their support. And we look at Amazon. Oh, before I go, we are doing a bull flag formation out here. And when the bull flag exits upwards, then I think it's going to be a huge gain out there. And remember, Google is valued very nicely. So it has plenty of room to go up. Amazon is up 0.63% in pre-market trades. And Amazon is converting old coal mines and gas power plants in Europe into data centers, and it's anticipating faster permits from the authorities due to existing infrastructure. And so that's the news coming out of EMEA, Energy Director. So I think those aspects are going to be positive for Amazon, and that's going to help stabilize the price a little more and help it a little bit on its way to our target of 257.94. Apple reported, and they beat on both revenue and EPS, a 9.18% beat on EPS, 4.99% beat on revenue. However, pre-market, the share is up only 0.32%. Now, why? That is because the whole world is waiting for Apple to get into the AI play. And in this particular meeting, to the best of my knowledge, CEO Tim Cook indicated plans for major acquisitions to boost AI capabilities. So now we have to look at AI companies which are most eligible for Apple to take over and probably invest in those companies because the shares will pop when Apple announces a takeover. So once that happens, then Apple stock will have some movement, but it's an opportunity for us retail investors. So if any of you know of potential AI companies that Apple could take up, put that in the comment section so that all the community can benefit. And then I can go and do a technical analysis and make detailed videos on those companies to try and find out how much share price movement could happen and what they have that is of interest for Apple. So that's a call to the community. Then I have Microsoft. And of course, today, David Best also is good at searching out these opportunities. So David, that's an assignment for you from the community. Okay, then we go on to Microsoft. After the increase in Microsoft shares, just like Google, it has come down and it's going back up again. But unlike Google, it's not yet gone. Unlike Meta, it's not yet gone to the opening price on the day of the earnings, which is still further away. So it's moderately bullish. It has got this diagonal line of support. And for today, the support is going to be 523.34. Tesla is up 0.32%, and Elon Musk got a pay package worth $29 billion. And the stock, he's got a lot of stocks. It increases his stake in Tesla. He sold a bunch to buy Twitter. So now he's got back a whole bunch of Tesla stock. I don't think Tesla stock is improving anytime soon. Regardless of all this, they have to demonstrate robotaxi and Optimus Prime in a commercial manner. And once that happens and the numbers are significant, that's when I think Tesla will jump. And right now, the support seems to be 299.12. Oracle is up 1.91% in pre-market trades. And this is a bullish Bennett out here. It has to break out on the upside. So we are watching for it. AMD is also up 1.52%. And they're going to report their Q2 earnings on August 5th with a projected 27% revenue rise to $7.43 billion, while EPS expected to drop 30% to 0.48. So if the EPS drops on the day of the earnings, I'm thinking that a whole lot of retail investors in the pre-market trade will end up selling the stock. So that would be an opportunity to buy up the stock because this EPS should not come up as a surprise, and that pop can be taken up because institutions will boost it back again. That's my feeling. I would like to hear from you guys what you think. Is there an opportunity? Put it in the comment section, please. With that said, SMCI is up 1.60%, and they'll be reporting their Q4 results, forecasting sales of 5.98 billion, up from 5.31 billion last year, but expects adjusted net income to drop 286.9 billion. And the earnings are coming out again on 5th of August after hours. And Broadcom is up 0.50%, and Citi Research has given it a buy rating. That's going to be a positive for the stock, and it's going to help it stay above the support level of 291.60. Palantir is the hero of the day, up 6.69%. And just like I mentioned, about other Mag 7 stocks that showed a lot of growth after reporting their earnings. Penalty shares are likely to come back down again and then stabilize. So there'll be a lot of profit taking. So that's one of the reasons why one should not buy at this level, in my opinion. Of course, personal opinion, not financial advice. Okay, and then what do I want to do? I want to go in for genomics. Prime is up 1.11%. Friends, I made a video about Prime. They got a captive partner with the cystic fibrosis disease. They got a lot of millions of dollars, and that's going to help keep this share high up. Yes, hot dog. I will definitely look at APL and I'll check it out for you. I'll do a technical analysis before I wind up, and then I'll look at it, and if possible, I'll also make a video to explain what I think about it. So thanks for the request. Next, let us go on and have a look at Interior. It's up 1.82%. Support is going to continue to be at 11.32. Caribou Biosciences is down 1.90%. Support at 1.91. And looking at Altimmune, it's down 0.84%. And Illumina is a place where there is some opportunity. Illumina is down 0.65%. Morgan Stanley has raised its price target for Illumina to $105 per share, an increase from the previous target of $100. So overall, the company is very sound, and it is still above this diagonal line of support, and it's still bouncing above this minor line of support. So I'm thinking that it's only a matter of time before we do a kind of a gap fill out here, and this resistance at 103.27 will become our next target. So that said, CRISPR Therapeutics, I think CRISPR Therapeutics is a great option to buy. When I say option, I use the wrong terminology. I think CRISPR Therapeutics could be it's a good opportunity to buy CRISPR Therapeutics, in my opinion, because I think that acquisition of Sirius is the reason why they have had these kind of results. They had a $96 million R&D expenses that came in along with the purchase. Now, overall, if I look at the X-Series R&D expenses and other things, CRISPR Therapeutics has tightened everything, and Casgevy is also doing okay. So overall, this stock is still pretty good. And it's not just CRISPR Therapeutics is spending $95 million for Sirius. In exchange, it has got IP for mRNA and all that. So this would be an ideal time to buy. And yeah, so there is CRISPR pre-market down. Yes, Wong, it is down. I've got the script ready for the video. I woke up very early this morning because Michael, our subscriber from Germany, he sent me a message saying that CRISPR has reported earnings surprisingly early and that the stock is down. So I got up early, I made it. Just be patient. I'll explain the whole thing to you the way I think about it, maybe in a couple of hours with that new video on CRISPR Therapeutics. And then I would like to engage with you guys and get your feedback. Aaron is saying, will you look at Bitcoin? We are in a bull flag. Yes, I'll check it out before I close the session, Aaron. ARKG keeps selling down. You know what? ARKG has sold a lot of stocks before they actually took off. So I wouldn't go by ARKG. They have a celebrity following. But I think we cannot blindly follow what they do. They would have a lot of strategies, and I think those strategies might not exactly align with ours. So let me give you my thought process as a retail investor. And then we are building a retail investor community here. You're also retail investors. Share your thoughts and we'll get a consensus, and that will be much better than what ARKG is doing. They need to take some profits here and there to justify their management expense ratio. They may have other considerations for selling. CRISPR fundamentally is a sound company, a great CEO, great pipeline, great capability to deliver. I have no doubts about CRISPR personally, right? So that said, let me proceed further so that we can keep this moving along the tracks. Allogene is up 1.82%. Rail, no trades out there. PSEV is struggling to live. It's up 0.72%. I'm glad it's away from the $1 mark. Vertex has had a big setback. It's down 13.61% because they have halted late-stage trial for pain drug VX993, despite a strong Q2 earnings of 4.52 per share. This particular news about discontinuing a late-stage pipeline drug has caused the price to fall around 13.61%. I would be a buyer in this event for a very short period of time if I had the money, because usually these kind of sharp drops come with a dead cat bounce. So you just wait for the bounce, take the money and get out. Don't stay there, because after that it could go down further. So that's the way I would play it. The personal opinion, not financial advice, just sharing my retail investor theories. And I would like you guys also to mention in the comment section what you think about this idea. Now, I'm looking at Precision, which is another company I've been following. I've invested a little bit of speculative position. They have FDA approval coming in the third week of this month for a skin condition. And I'm expecting a pop out there for that. And also the price target are quite high for Precision compared to where it is at right now. So I'm expecting a little bit of a pop. So it's a very small investment, but the gains will be pretty good. So that's what I have out there. Now I'm going to turn attention to the request of the people who are on the chat out here. First, I want to look at Bitcoin, which is what I think Aaron has asked for. Let's go to Bitcoin currencies, BTC USD. BTC USD bull flag. I don't think it's a bull flag anymore, Aaron, because again, as they say, technical analysis is an art and a science. I could be wrong here, but personally, I'm looking at this bull flag starting from here to here. And because the price drop has already gone beyond 50%, I don't think it's a bull flag. That is point number one. Some people may take the bull flag from here. If you take it that way and think that this is the bull flag, then yeah, we are still in a bull flag situation. But that seems a little bit tortured to me. So I don't think we are in a bull flag. And I think Bitcoin fortunes are tied with our stock market. And today, if you see that the stock market goes up, Bitcoin will bounce back up again. That's the way Bitcoin will react. And then if we go above this line of resistance, let me draw a line of resistance. This is going to be our line of resistance at 120,000. And if we go above that line of resistance, then we'll start forming new bull flags. So that's what I'm thinking. So please let me know what your thoughts are among. Aaron, please let me know your thoughts so that, I understand where you're coming from. In my opinion, now we are forming a bear flag out here. This is the flagpole and this is the flag, which means we are going to go down further. And our next stop could be 106,238.94. What else is that? On the daily last 25 days, ARCG keeps sending down CRISP. Yeah, because CRISPR had a whole lot of gains, right? Let me just temporarily go to the genomic side and look at CRISPR. Let me show you why ARCG would have sold. Now, this is a regression channel on which we were all the way from 28th of March onwards, right? And within the regression channel, this is the magnet. The center line is the magnet. If you go down, it attracts you up. If you go up, it attracts you down. So we are very close to testing this diagonal line of resistance of the parallel channel. Now, we had a significant steep growth. Let me just tell you the magnitude of price hikes that we saw. We saw a gain of 95.20%. Which fund manager would not like to book some profits, right? So I was quoting Professor Ashwath Damodaran, who is NYU professor, if I'm not mistaken. He's done a lot of work on valuation. And I remember in one of his videos, he was talking about strategy to handle these kind of spectacular growth in stock price in the portfolio. So what he said was he sells half and keeps the other half with him when situations like these happen, because it is inevitable that the price is going to fall down. So you don't want to sell the whole thing, because in case price didn't fall down and it went up further without falling down, you lose everything. So he sells half of it and he retains the other half. And that's the strategy I follow. That's why I still have half of Artimmune. The other half, I already booked profits. So I think Artimmune might be following some strategy like that to take out some profits while they still can, because at the end of the day, they need the asset under administration to keep on multiplying and become bigger and bigger, and also give results for their stockholders. So that's what I think is happening out there, Aaron. Okay. So I think with that, I would like to bring this video to an end and get started with my CRISPR video. But first, I have to go for breakfast. And guys, say a little prayer for my little doggy out here. I'm just going to show you my dog. She's very beautiful. My best friend out here, Corey. And she gets monoclonal antibody injections for her arthritis, which has affected her neck as well as leg. And she's become very slow these days. She just sits in one place and she groans. I think she's groaning right now. So I put her back on her bed. So I'm putting more time for her because she's not in a good shape. So say a prayer for her, and hope all your positive energy helps her to recover. Thanks and have a great day, guys. Bye for now. See you later.